What up? What up? What up? It is Rec League Podcast, man. This is episode number 38. My name is Randy Little. If you were unaware thus far, like by episode 38, man, if you don't know what it is, if you don't know what we do, I don't know what to tell you, man. 38 episodes in, y'all got to know the get down. But on this episode, it's we're weeks in to social distancing, self quarantining, and no sports, no movies. My whole, you know, everything I get my content from is kind of on hiatus at the moment, except music. Music's still dropping. And if you want to keep up with what we doing in between shows, I put the credits at the very end. But if you don't watch all the way to the credits on YouTube, at Rec League Podcast on Facebook, at Rec League Podcast on Instagram, obviously for y'all watching, at Rec League Podcast on YouTube, at Rec League Pod on Twitter. Keep up with us. Okay, like lately, there's nothing really to post and ask poll questions about. So there haven't been poll questions for the past little while. But like Leonardo DiCaprio said in The Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. And I'm doing what I can to cook up content. And that's what I've done today. My guy Eric Sigmund, my guy Nick Goodman, they come through and we talk a little bit of like what news we could, but we mainly discuss like our favorite like on-screen team-ups. Not necessarily two actors together, but teams. There's a Marvel team, there's a DC team, and then there's like groups of actors who frequently work together, and excuse me, and those all get touched upon and discussed. And then old man Lawrence come through, and we just talk about we miss sports. We just miss sports. Of course, I got bars, and then we talk about that Joyner Lucas, that ADHD album. And before I break off into upcoming like Blu-ray releases and whatnot, I hope everybody's staying clean. I hope everybody's staying inside. The sooner you stay inside, like I feel like the sooner we can all get back to regular life. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but there's still people out there who are ignorant and who feel like they're immune to catching the virus. And I feel like it's been reported that everybody who come out and said, I'm not worried about a virus. If I get it, I get it, has got it. And like it's not a game. Like plagues are going on, man. Like there's wildfires everywhere. Locusts are like swarming in Africa or something like that. Like animals are like just dropping dead. And then you got this virus wiping out whatever percentage of the world population. Like it's time to get right with God, honestly. And as a community, like the world, like I don't want to hear about America needs to get back out there. Like we as Americans need to beat this. We as Canadians, we as whatever culture, we as humans worldwide need to follow the medical guidelines. They're not suggestions. Like this is what we need to do to get back to work, to get back to the movies, to get sports back on TV, to get back to how things were in January and the beginning of February. And if you in another country, how things might have been back in like November. I don't know. But before I bring the homies in the theater, on VOD, let me check myself. Trolls World Tour is supposed to come out on Friday, April 10th. And I want something to review on my Randy Little YouTube channel. So I'm gonna rent it. I enjoyed the first Trolls. I'm excited to see this one. So that's there. And like if you haven't heard by now, if like for whatever, I feel like you know what is available to rent on VOD if you're a fan of Rec League Podcast. But like basically everything that might be coming on Blu-ray soon, everything that was in theaters before shit hit the fan. Birds of Prey, Sonic the Hedgehog, Bad Boys for Life, The Gentleman, Impractical Jokers the movie. I haven't seen it on DirecTV yet, but I know it's available. The Way Back, Onward is on Disney Plus and Vudu, and it's out there. It's on DirecTV too. Bloodshot, I Still Believe, and then The Hunt. Like if it was in theaters right before everything got serious, then it is available to rent, and like some are only available to buy. Like I wouldn't buy those because they'll be on DVD and Blu-ray in a month or so. But in between the last episode and this episode, 1917 come out on Blu-ray. The Grudge remake, reboot, whatever it was, came out on Blu-ray. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker came out this past Tuesday. And this upcoming Tuesday, Cats comes out, Doolittle comes out, and Little Women come out. And like the MOD Blu-rays are coming out with like one of the straight-to-video American Pie movies, Empire with John Leguizamo, and then the Tuesday before the next episode, Just Mercy with Michael B. Jordan. I really want to watch that because it never came to my theaters, so I'm gonna blind buy that one. And then Underwater with Kristen Stewart, T.J. Miller, Jessica Henwick, and Vincent Castle. So stick around. We got a fun show, and I'll be back with Nick Goodman. I'll be back with Eric Sigmund, and we just gonna chop it up, man. It is Rec League Podcast. All right. What y'all don't know went down behind the scenes for a couple hours is me trying to figure out why my shit was crashing. But at the top, I said that there was lists and stuff to talk about because I wanted to keep the show going, but in the back of my head, I was like thinking like July, August might be the next time we all get together. So it's going to be a lot of lists and just free, open conversation. And I got... Like, Eric already know because we did this game already. But I had some sneak attack topics that Nick don't know about. And I saw that the next DC animated release, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, is going to be the last movie in their, like, interconnected universe. And, like, I've been a fan. Like, I've been a fan since... I'm not going to front. Like, I've been buying all these movies and keeping up with them since Superman Doomsday came out. But probably, like... Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, around that time. Maybe like right before Under the Red Hood. Like I've been into these movies. And like I thought it was dope that they came with a shared universe and they do like 2 movies a year out of their 3 releases to push the universe forward. And I guess with Flashpoint Paradox up until Apocalypse War, Nick, like how do you react to the timeline being capped off?
It's pretty cool. Like, they're going to keep making the movies. Because I would say there's just as many that aren't part of that timeline as are. So, like, they're going to keep... As long as they keep putting them out every couple months, like, I'm not, like, sad. Because there hasn't been, like, a big, like... Well, I guess there kind of was. I was going to say, like, a big in-game type moment. Like, it's all been leading to this. But I guess it kind of did with the death of Superman thing. Was that last year? That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Reign of the Superman was like last January.
Yeah. Because right before that came out, I like rewatched all of them in order for the first time. I want to say, like, I had seen pretty much all of them, but like actually starting with just one and going through. And that was fun. So it's kind of like end of an era. Because like you said, they've been putting them out for a long time.
Yeah.
I think Under the Red Hood was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so they've been, I know I've been buying them since then, and I probably bought the ones before that. I have them all, but I was probably like buying the ones.
Dude,
that was like the first one out that I remember, like that Tuesday, being excited to go out and actually buy it that day.
One of like the most difficult like movies for me to like find like after it came out was Green Lantern First Flight with the green case and the slipcover. That was a Mount Everest.
That's another one that I happened upon at like a random store. I have a lot of stories like that, I guess. Like I went to like a record store and they had it, and I have 2 copies of that because I think the first copy I bought didn't have slip, and then I was like, this is unacceptable. So, but yeah, it's like end of an era. But like they'll keep going. They'll just keep making those movies.
I think, yeah, but like they started with the shared interconnected continuity and all that. With, I want to say originally it was like the post credit scene to Flashpoint Paradox, and then Suicide Squad Hell to Pay came back and like retconned like Flashpoint Paradox, like resetting everything. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, because I went back and rewatched, like, I was like, let me make sure I'm getting all of these in here that were in this thing. And it said it started with Flashpoint Paradox. And, like, Flashpoint Paradox is nothing like the rest of them. And I was like, this isn't part of it. Like, the Batman is completely different in this. But then, yeah, there's, like, the post-credits thing that, like, sets up. I think the next one was
Justice League War.
I think. Maybe. I think. I don't remember. But from there on, everything was like really tight. Like all the storytelling and everything was really tight and tied into each other. It's cool.
It's and cool wasn't it the oh sorry, Nick.
No. You're good.
No, the Flashpoint Paradox, I remember that one at the time. That was compared to the others, like more violent.
Yeah. I think like Reverse Flash like got shot through the eye. Or like maybe in the middle of the forehead.
And spoiler. That was if I'm not mistaken.
It's 7 years old.
The same one where I think Shazam, out of his Shazam form, the kid, was it Billy
Batson?
Yeah, Billy Batson when he just got killed.
Was it?
If I'm not mistaken, or beat up in his as Billy Batson. It was one of the movies. I believe it was that one.
I don't remember if he was. I know he was in Justice League War. I don't remember if he was like in anything before that. Honestly, I know there's like that short, like Return of Black Adam. But
oh yeah, I have that too.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Eric. You remember what you said 2 hours ago?
Yeah, Justice League War was like where they actually did the whole cyborg thing.
Yeah,
like Batson like went to the football game or whatever.
See, I would like the second tier heroes. Like I want Shazam to get his own movie, Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter. But it's like DC or Warner or whoever like approves these, like Flashpoint, like Throne of Atlantis. Like they have to throw Justice League in front of it because like I feel like they're like nervous that they won't sell.
Right.
Yeah, they like stopped doing like they did the Green Lantern First Flight, which was great.
Yeah. And
then right before the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie came out, they put out the other Green Lantern movie,
Emerald Knights.
Like as a tie-in, kind of like
Gotham Knight with Batman.
Yeah, and like they just really haven't done that since. So it's like they stopped. They're like, all right, well, it's just Batman this and Batman that, and Superman this. Here's another Wonder Woman, I guess. And then it's like Justice League this, Batman this. It's like they're like scared to venture out. They could totally make a Shazam one, like you said, or an Aquaman one.
Yeah.
Now that everyone has seen that movie.
Right.
Eric, you remember what you said 2 hours ago?
Yeah. Yes, I do. No, it was just pretty much, one, praising the writing of these DC animated movies. And, of course, all of them can't be perfect, and people complain. I mentioned The Killing Joke. The original graphic novel was very short, and people complain about the subplot that was added on to the animated movie, which I really didn't have a problem with. I thought it was the movie as a whole was decent, and when everything returns back to normal from the situation, hopefully they will continue to release these movies as Phantom events in theaters.
I think Apocalypse War comes out to stream at like the beginning of May. I think it comes on Blu-ray May 19th, I want to say. So that hopefully Superman Man of Tomorrow, like it'll stick like to that traditional like right after Comic-Con release. Come out like end of July, beginning of August. Yeah. in the first take, because nobody heard that. It's only between me and Eric, but I'm gonna put it in the air. He was bragging about his Phantom events. He was bragging about all of this other stuff. My name is Eric Sigmund. My podcast is dope. Yeah. So I'm gonna plug the podcast again because I did that last time. Because I'm on that, but listen to Heck Smash because he's more important, more entertaining than me. My segment was super boring. And I was talking about I did the shameless plug with my YouTube reviews because I feel like I'm one of the maybe handful of people that review the DC movies on YouTube. And there was something else I said. Now I forgot. But we was talking about everything getting rescheduled. Also, Disney rescheduled everything. Like the dominoes fell all the way to pushing Indiana Jones 5 back another year, and then Sony moved some stuff. Candyman got pushed back. A Quiet Place got dated. SpongeBob. Nick, how do you feel about the new dates? How many of them do you think are going to stick?
I don't know. I like to think that all the fall dates will be fine. Like September on.
Yeah.
Should be fine. It's like anything coming out in the summer. It's like we said, like it makes me feel like optimistic. Like it's like, wow, they really put that in July. Like maybe they know something we don't know. But like they don't know.
Yeah.
So I hope so. Like I hope Mulan and SpongeBob can come out in July.
Yeah, like best case scenario, Pixar and Disney being stubborn. I hope in the middle of June I'm watching Soul and King of Staten Island.
That would be good.
Super best case scenario.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like nothing seems to be changing. Like I haven't left my house in like 5 days.
Right.
I haven't gone anywhere. And I just keep checking the news as if I am the common denominator. I'm like, well, I haven't left my house in 5 days, so we should be seeing a change, right? And I just keep not seeing a change. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I hope. I love, they put A Quiet Place, like that Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's great.
2 of the past 3 years, it has been crazy successful that weekend.
Yeah. So I love that they could clinch that weekend and we don't have to wait like a year for some of these movies. Some of them, and unfortunately, do.
I have a prediction that Nick's horror binge this year will start with Candyman.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends. What day is that coming out?
25th of September.
Maybe. I don't know. Because I would have to put that with slashers. And there's a pretty big slasher movie that's supposed to come out in October this year.
Is there?
Yeah.
You can do the first half of October all slashers.
I've also heard rumors that Spiral might be getting redated to the end of October.
That it was originally dated for, but they moved because they were scared of Michael. And now they're just going to go back.
I rumor that it might be going back to that. So I don't know.
No, don't do that. That's going to ruin my Bond binge, and I'm not going to be able to binge Saw.
It's going to be very interesting times with all these dates.
Just put Spiral in January.
We're having it the hardest out of this whole pandemic. It is hitting us the hardest. It's like, how am I supposed to watch 2 movies in a day?
Oh, yeah, I can't. I just can't.
I can if I get off work at a decent time and then just go home and don't do anything else. I'm like, all right, well, if I put this in now, and I can watch another one and then go take a shower and then go to bed. Do nothing else.
And then what was it? Morbius and Ghostbusters got March. Peter Rabbit's in January. Black Widow bumping Eternals in November, put Eternals in February, which put Shang-Chi in May, which put Doctor Strange in November next year, which put lost track of where I was. Thor Love and Thunder went to February 2022. Black Panther in May that year, Captain Marvel in November. Like 3 weeks. And I don't like the Captain Marvel date because the Flash is scheduled for the week literally before. And then Indiana Jones is like 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after Captain Marvel in 2022.
The Flash isn't going to come out, first of all.
It
That's
better.
not happening.
Yeah, they.
Worry about the Flash.
I've wanted a Flash movie since I was like 12 years old. It better come out. And I'm not even the biggest Ezra as the Flash fan.
Once they put it out in the atmosphere that they were trying to do a Flashpoint movie, I was way more excited for a Flash movie. Like, I was like, all the actors that they got and all this and that and this and that. I was like, way more excited for it. And then they were just like, well, we don't know. Shit.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, that's something we said once.
Yeah, because when DC and Warner Brothers blew their load with their official announcement of Phase 1 dates, Cyborg was supposed to come out this past weekend.
Yeah.
Man, that's true, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like, why? Why a Cyborg movie? Sorry.
I'd be
Do
down.
we need one? I'd go see it.
Yeah.
Do we need, like, it was just, we've talked about it. Like, they've just, once a couple of their movies were hits, they were like, well, we're making spin-offs of every single character in this movie.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't want to get off on that tangent. That's like the most popular Rec League tangent of how DC has just fucked themselves. But do what Marvel did. Establish your popular heroes, do the team up, take a couple risks, give me a Martian Manhunter movie.
It's just like, well, we don't want to come off like we're copying Marvel. It's like, you are. We already are. Like, we already know you are. Just do it. Like, just do it right. Just do it better.
It's like Marvel, first with Paramount, now with Disney, did a cinematic universe that was successful. Any other studio, any other genre that wants to do a shared universe is copying Marvel.
Like, it's just, you're Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening. And that's fine. Pepsi's fine. It's fine. Just do it good.
But the messed up thing is they were so concerned with copying somebody else, they forgot to, hey, let's actually try and make what we're doing good. Mm-hmm. Instead of just copying the blueprint, you still have to do the work and build.
Or
and
even
that's
just
the problem.
Coherent. It's like, I would say Batman versus Superman is a good movie, but it's like, why would you put Batman and Wonder Woman in the movie? Like, it's like, we're going to introduce them all in one movie.
Yeah, that was
Justice League movie with no build up and introduce all of them in one movie.
It's like justice didn't particularly need to dawn when Batman and Superman were fighting. The dawn of justice could have been just Wonder Woman in her own movie with a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was actually a newer video that came out that they talk about Zack Snyder's original 5-movie plan.
It was genius.
It was great. But they panicked after the first weekend of BVS, and we know Justice League was already in production and all that. Like, we're going to get on this tangent. But
we're already there.
Yeah.
It's impossible to stop. Like,
it is,
like,
because
like a forest fire. Like, once you light it, it's like, well.
In the topic of shared universes and teaming up, segue into
World Tour.
Trolls World Tour. Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick, my favorite on-screen team. Eric, you remember your first team-up pick?
Oh, definitely. My first pick was, I guess we're not going in any particular order, but first pick is Jay and Silent Bob from the, not one particular movie, but the Askewniverse, Kevin Smith's movie universe of shared characters, and Jay and Silent Bob. That's my first pick. As recently as was the reboot 2019?
Yeah, the reboot was this past October.
Yeah, October, right. And I believe those characters go over, we counted 7 movies.
At least, and then I threw Scream 3 in there sarcastically. Yeah,
I mean, cameos count. Skip that. And they had the animated stuff, but we're sticking with movies. But yeah, Jay and Silent Bob is my first pick.
And my first pick was Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Just like I said before, like, even though nobody heard it, just the way like there was animosity and there was tension and there was they're heroes. They have a different way of, Iron Man would just cut the wire, Cap dives on the grenade, and they're working toward the same goal, and they're at each other's throats. Age of Ultron, Don't Take From My Pile, Civil War. I love Captain America Civil War, and they don't even reconcile until Endgame, and it's basically the whole Infinity Saga from, Iron Man talking. So you're the guy my dad couldn't shut up about, and it's just like they play off each other so well, and like I said, like they're on the same page, working toward the same goal, but it just takes some different routes to get there. Nick, what'd you have for your?
All right, I don't even know if I did this right. Like, I just picked actors. Like Eric said, I got Chance, Silent Bob, so that immediately made me think like, shit, Bill and Ted, Harold and Kumar. Like I was like, I missed all these. I don't even know. I picked actors that I enjoy seeing together, or when I hear that they're going to be together, I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
So like number 5, I'd have to pick Kevin Hart and The Rock.
Oh, wow.
See, like, I don't want to cut you off right quick, but like that's kind of how this whole idea came about. Like my wife was just talking about, because like I said, like I was thinking like I don't know how to keep the podcast going. I don't know what to do. So like, well, we could do lists. And my wife was like, well, you could do like on-screen teams, like The Rock and Kevin Hart are one of my favorites. They're hilarious. So
yeah, no, yeah, that's awesome. Actually, that's one I think of.
I'm so smart. Me and Randy's wife. You got to get her on the podcast.
Oh man, she's camera shy. I want to, but she's camera shy.
She has good ideas.
So where are they at? How many? They got 4 movies? No, 5, right?
They did 2 Jumanjis. Central Intelligence. I feel like I'm missing one.
Hobbs and Shaw.
I was about to say, I'm not counting that one.
Shaw.
Well, if we're counting Scream 3, I guess we're counting Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
What's the 5th one?
I
think it's 4.
But that might be it. Like, Central Intelligence is hilarious. Like, it's not even, like, the smartest type of movie like that. Like, there's 1,000 movies like that where it's, like, one guy is sucking in a normal guy into, like, this big espionage world. And it's, like, it happens, like, every year. There's, like, 1 or 2 movies like that. But, like, that movie worked so well because of their, like, kind of, like, yin and yang. Like...
I've been looking for a reason to rewatch it, and I can't find one.
It's just every time they get together, then you see them like behind the scenes, like doing press for their movies.
Just going back and forth on Instagram is entertaining enough.
Yeah, like it's the funniest shit, and it's just not that often that you have 2 people play off each other that well. Especially like when one is more action oriented and one is like purely comedy.
Right.
So I had to put them on the list.
That's a good pick.
You put them together, and I'm like, well, I'm seeing that.
And if you're listening or if you're on YouTube, spoilers for Hobbs and Shaw.
Hey, you didn't see Hobbs and Shaw. God dog, it made enough damn money. It's on HBO.
Yeah.
There's more cameos in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, shit. Spoiler.
And it's about family. Eric, you got your 2?
Yeah, my second pick is the Bastards from Inglourious Bastards. And you're still good, Nick. So Nick is his name in actors, one name in characters actually in the movies. I mean, this still, it qualifies, right?
It's a team.
Yeah, but within the movie, because I did this the last time. Within the movie, the characters are awesome, and we got the Bear Jew and Eli Roth and Sergeant
Hugo
Hickox.
Hugo Stiglitz.
Oh yeah, Michael Fassbender, Sergeant Hickox, Hugo Stiglitz, Till Swilliger, if I'm saying his name right. Of course, B.J. Novak. What did they call him? They called him. I forget.
I don't know. Top of my head.
It was a funny name, but y'all know.
They just called him Ryan from The Office.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan.
We got a non-Office fan here in Randy.
Aw. That's so weird. Like, I feel like you would love The Office.
I feel like I just haven't taken the time to sit and watch it.
Yeah, but no, it's a great team up within the movie. Great cast of actors playing the characters, and
the card game in the pub was like 40 minutes long.
Yeah, one of the greatest damn scenes in the history of one of the bar scenes. You want to categorize it. And another thing about that scene is too, other than being 40 minutes long, more than half of the scene is in German.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you don't give a shit. You're just reading the whole thing.
Yeah, you're so involved and it's so tense. But The Bastards from Inglourious Bastards is my second pick.
All right. And my second pick is why I amended the whole two actors together, because I picked Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, but then I was just like, dude, the whole frat pack is hysterical. That's kind of like one of my favorite eras in comedy, because like the first time we did this, Eric asked how many movies have they really done together? A good 9, 10, 12, and it's specifically
most of them.
Yeah, specifically for me, it's Starsky and Hutch, and again, last time I compared Starsky and Hutch to Captain America and Iron Man. They have different ways of going to the same goal, and it's hysterical. And then Owen Wilson's been in both Zoolanders, all three Fockers, Cable Guy, Royal Tenenbaums. They've done tons of movies together. Owen Wilson was originally the Matthew McConaughey character in Tropic Thunder, and then Ben Stiller was in Anchorman with Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Dodgeball. These dudes got tons of movies together, and most of them are hilarious. Nick, you got your second pick?
So, and 13, by the way, is supposedly the number Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller movies.
God.
But there's a lot of people that were in that brat pack or frat pack or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
That Jason Bateman was in multiple movies.
That's funny. We mentioned him earlier.
That dude stole Dodgeball.
Stole Dodgeball.
Their cast, just being in that last 10 minutes of it. But so my next one that I wrote, so I wrote these super quick. I was okay, I think I'll settle for that one. So this is a split. So I got
Bruce Willis.
One actor did it with the other actor one time that was the best ever, but then the other one has, so I'm splitting. So I got Will Ferrell with either Mark Wahlberg or John C. Reilly. But I would say the Daddy's Home movies are funny. I would say they're funny. They're not great.
They're not The Other Guys.
I'm one of the only people that thinks The Other Guys is a masterpiece. The Other Guys is Lethal Weapon level. That's one of the best buddy cop movies, period. It's my favorite Will Ferrell movie. It's no one else's favorite Will Ferrell movie. But
yeah,
that is the funniest shit in the world. But that's all he and Mark Wahlberg did that was great. But it's still enough that if I see them do anything in the future, I'm there. I'm well, this is gonna be hilarious. Even if it's not, it's gonna be hilarious. Then also John C. Reilly has has a slightly better track record with Will Ferrell. I say slight.
Until recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Talladega Nights.
I would take both Daddy's Home
better than. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Over
to me, Talladega Nights is better than Step Brothers. Most people think of Step Brothers as the top shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Talladega Nights is slightly better, but that's just me. Still, Step Brothers is that's 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
So then recently, not so much.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah. The more recent film they did together was a bigger dud.
That thing was a turd.
Than both Daddy's Homes, for sure. Together, taking one of the actors with Will Ferrell. But yeah, I'll go ahead and say that. I don't even know if I want to stick to this after this is done. I'm damn it. Anything. I've even like made a couple alterations. I'm like, wait, no, this makes more sense. But yeah, The Other Guys. If you haven't watched The Other Guys, it's on Netflix right now, and it is so much funnier than you remember it being.
How have you not watched The Other Guys?
I don't know. When they jumped off the roof and just hit the ground, I remember like I was in a theater. It was at Short Pump Theater.
Oh no!
I was like kind of more towards the top than I usually was, so there was like a wall like right to my left at the end of the aisle. I remember getting out of my chair and like walking to the wall and like laying my head on the wall. I was laughing so hard, and I had to like muzzle myself. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. That entire movie just like killed me.
Just missing the next 5 minutes.
Just like I didn't. Yeah, the whole funeral scene, like I like missed half of it. And then I sit down and he's like, how would they jump off the roof? There wasn't even an audio.
Yeah, it wasn't even on. Like, I don't know. It was weird.
I started laughing again. It's like, this is the funniest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's yeah, it doesn't get the credit, and even the funeral with the quiet fight, you know.
Yes. Oh my god. It's so funny. Like I don't know why it's like well regarded, but it's not considered like a classic, and it's like 10 years old. And I'm like, it needs to be.
I just remember like geeking
know,
out. I remember geeking out.
We're still on this movie. No, sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
Oh my bad. I remember geeking out just real quick, like The Rock, like because The Rock. Like, I've been a fan of The Rock since like SummerSlam with a ladder match with Triple H. So I've always rode for The Rock. And I was like, man, The Rock's in the Will Ferrell movie. This is so cool.
Yeah, and somebody who showed up, he kind of went off the radar. I think, you know, under his own whatever. But Michael Keaton has showed up. He hadn't been around at that point for a while.
Yeah, it was just kind of like Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
he's hilarious in that movie.
Right, and he came back and then just, you know, it's been around since. And
yeah,
he's
like
hysterical in that movie. The TLC quotes.
He was the villain in Cars, but like he kind of had like a rough like 2000s, right? And then like the other guys
he
was
kind of laid low.
Yeah,
Birdman was kind of his.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me want to go watch it right now. Just talking about it, like it's that good to me. Like it makes me want to go back and watch it and just laugh my ass off.
When I was recovering from my surgery and I did that Adam McKay binge, that was a great binge.
Whoa. Oscar winner, Adam McKay.
Whoa.
Academy Award winner.
Oscar winner, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You wipe my ass with your Oscar winner. Where are we at, number 3?
Yeah. How that movie beat that Star Trek for best makeup. But anyway.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Idris Elba was in Star Trek. Oh, weird.
So number 3.
It's my turn.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the original, my next pick is the original 6, The Avengers, 2012.
I won't reuse the same joke.
You know, it's funny now, but yeah, but yeah, and like I said before, people, the contributions of Joss Whedon now gets lost because of everything that's happened following that first Avengers movie. Yeah, that was a real big deal, and unfortunately, he doesn't get spoken about how he should. But no, that team up, it was definitely an event. Even if you didn't like the movie, which is crazy if you don't, it was, you know, it was just awesome to see all those characters in one movie and done well and used well. So yeah, that's definitely my third pick, the original 6, the first Avengers movie.
And then my number 3, this is where we like just went completely off track last time. My number 3 is Seth Rogen and James Franco. It's Pineapple Express.
Oh, I didn't even.
the interview. Like they're endlessly quotable. This is the end. I said 2 movies they ran. This is the end together. Franco cameos in the Green Hornet.
It was a Tommy Wiseau movie.
Disaster Artist.
Yeah, the Disaster Artist.
Like, they done so many movies together, man. They're hilarious together. Pineapple Express for me never gets old. I could spend 5 hours quoting that shit.
Yeah.
I heard that by accident yesterday. I was talking to somebody and I was like, dude, he's like crazy about murdering. I was like, fuck, what's that from? Like, I don't know. I was like, oh, that's Pineapple Express.
Hey, you mentioned Randy. Like, I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. I wasn't very happy that they made the Green Hornet, that they were making it, but it turned out to be okay. It's not the best movie, but that cameo by Franco, you know, man, look at you, your crusty ass suit. You got that boy's got Gucci. You got that was, come on, that's one of the best cameos. And
yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. Oh, and don't forget what's their first team up?
Knocked Up?
TV show.
Freaks and Geeks. I definitely knew that.
Look at Nick. Oh.
Shit.
Yeah, so they've been with each other for a while. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I remember when Pineapple Express came out, and originally, I think like when they pitched it, it was supposed to be flipped. Like James Franco was supposed to be like the straight guy, and
yeah,
and they said they thought it would just be funnier, like just weirder if they flipped it around. And like I remember people being like, shouldn't they have flipped it? Like, does James Franco be funny? And I had seen Freaks and Geeks, and I remember being like, they're both hilarious. Like, this is gonna be funny as shit. Like, they're both really funny, and I was right.
And just a weird thing. Did everybody see Knocked Up in theaters?
I think I saw it twice.
And this stood out. It's weird because Franco's cameo, he played himself in a cameo, right?
Yeah, like interviewing for Spider-Man 3.
And if you saw Knocked Up during the opening weekend, it was actually released before Spider-Man 3. If I'm not mistaken, or during the same time.
It was in theaters
Spider-Man was made
after Spider-Man 3,
but
it came out on DVD before Spider-Man 3.
There we go. Yeah, that's what happened. It was something weird like that.
Thinking that was weird too.
Yeah,
because I was like, didn't I just see Spider-Man? I've always thought that was because they referenced Spider-Man 3 like 3 times now.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just random stuff, and you're like, "Oh, Spider-Man 3 starts in 10 minutes." I'm like, "Okay."
You're in the theater, like, "Oh shit!"
That's
right. Oh damn it!
Oh man,
I want to like change my pick. I want to pick the Avengers because I really like. I'm looking at all this, and I just picked only like comedians. I'm just like, what are great comedians that work together? So whatever. Shout out to the Avengers. They're a pretty good team. I would have thought of that. So like,
your official number 3.
Like that's just where my head went. I was like, 2 like great comedians, like 2 people like when you hear they're doing something together, it's just. So number 3, I picked Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Oh.
I'm like, even like outside of like even more outside of movies. Like when you hear that they're doing anything, it's like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be hysterical. But their movies have been really good too, in my opinion. I think Baby Mama was really funny.
I haven't seen that one.
You never seen Baby Mama?
No. Like in the back of my head, like I want to eventually, but I've never seen it.
It's definitely funny. I think Sisters might be a smidge funnier, mostly because it's rated R, so it's like slightly humor. But I even watched that movie on Netflix. It was called Wine Country. And Tina Fey is in it, and I didn't know she was in it. She's like not one of the main people, but it's hilarious. Like, you haven't seen Wine Country? It's really funny.
I forgot about that movie. That is
Maya Rudolph, Rachel Dratch.
Just SNL.
The SNL Avengers
drinking in the countryside. It's really funny.
White ladies drinking wine.
They were actually the first. When you mentioned this, they were the first like duo that like immediately popped in my head. And I was like, oh, so like 2 people that work together, who you hear them together, And I was just like, oh, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler.
Yeah,
So
and give them.
I'm like the coolest feminist in the world, and everyone should respect me more than they do.
And I'll give them huge credit.
Yeah,
huge credit to when they hosted the Golden Globes. That was Golden Globes, right?
Yeah, and they were like the best hosts maybe of all time.
Right, because between if it's not Ricky Gervais hosting, it's just forgettable. But they hosted and they actually like they did the phony nominees, and they'll read the names and they'll be in character. And I mean, like they
did like Bill Cosby jokes,
right?
Like the year that was going on, and it was like hilarious. I feel like if Ricky Gervais did a Bill Cosby joke, it would have been like, oh,
yeah,
like oh.
Everybody
just didn't give a damn at all.
But yeah, it's like sometimes it's like his comes off as like he's really trying to be offensive. It's like, how can I make everyone uncomfortable? Which can be funny, but it can also be hit or miss. Right. I feel like they are so much more hit than miss when they do. And then I think they did last year, the hostless Oscars.
Yeah, they had a bit.
Maya Rudolph, they did the opening monologue, and it was hilarious. So, yeah, stick with that one. Them and the Avengers are tied for 3.
Eric, you got your 4?
Yes. My 4th pick. Oh, no, sorry about that. My 4th pick is Dr. Emmett Brown and Martin McFly from the Back.
It's so wrong.
From the Back to the Future trilogy.
I did this so wrong.
Or Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
I like that. But just and who the hell doesn't know? Well, actually, that's about to say who doesn't know about the Back to the Future trilogy. But a lot of people haven't seen the 3rd movie.
Is there something wrong with the gravitational pull in the future? Who hasn't seen Back to the Future Part 3? Unsubscribe from this channel right now.
Yeah.
You watch the whole trilogy or you don't watch any of it.
Pretty much. And this year is going to be that big 35th anniversary of the first movie. And
the 30th.
But no, it's
the
just
3rd one.
What team up. If you read it on paper, if you describe their relationship, it would seem very suspect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
It merely makes no sense, but that's what...
They're playing hide the beaker.
Damn. But no, like Nick said, it makes no sense, but that's what makes it awesome because it works. For some reason, the relationship. It makes no sense, but it's perfect.
We weren't thinking about that in 1985. Man, lucky. Used to hang out with the mad scientist all day.
Yeah, I mean, and even it's funny because when he's late for school, Marty, the principal even knows about the relationship.
Yeah.
You're still hanging around with that. I'm like really?
Does anyone call the cops? Like anyone?
But no, that's one of the best movies in Back to the Future 1 and one of the best trilogies, period. And we'll probably discuss this when we discuss trilogies, but there's a little ongoing argument between people. A lot of people actually like 3 over Part 2.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
I think it's got a higher, like critically, I think it got better reviews than 2. Like historic. I don't know if that makes it definitively better than 2. I was like 2.
I think I watched them early last year, and I remember years ago, hearing like the 3's better than 2. I'm just watching them. I was like, I kind of like 2 more.
But 2 is it's a great way to argue it back and forth. 2 is more of a spectacle because they're going into the future and then to the alternate past and then to the other past. But Back to the Future 3, the one thing people don't like about that is they go to one place and they stop.
Yeah.
For the whole movie. So it's essentially a Western.
Yeah.
But it works as a Western.
Definitely.
A sci-fi Western. So that's the genius of the whole trilogy.
Mr. Ashwood.
And that was... But no, Doc and Doc and Marty. That's my pick.
And then 2 gave us the Nike mags.
Oh yeah. Whew.
My number 4 is Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
All right.
Because I'm looking at my list and it's like all of these characters disagree with each other until they have to come together. And again, like I could quote all 3 Rush Hours. Say what you will about 3, it's not nowhere near as good as the first 2.
Nah.
But I could quote the Rush Hour series endlessly.
For him singing in the car, making me laugh my ass off. I haven't watched 3 in a long time. But, like, Chris Tucker was singing? Was he singing, like, the Star Spangled Banner or something?
He was doing his, like, Michael Jackson dance to some Prince, doing a traffic cop thing at the very beginning.
Yeah, that was funny. He was doing Michael Jackson moves to a Prince song.
Yeah. And Jackie Chan had a brother. They ended up in Paris. Oh, I'm Brokeback Carter.
And the movie co-starred certain director who's a fugitive in the United States. Well, not a fugitive, but he's wanted.
Oh, bro, look who directed Rush Hour, the whole Rush Hour series, to put this dude in the third movie. Hilarious. Y'all should have known Brett Ratner was on some shit when he put that dude in Rush Hour 3.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think about that.
And the first 2 Rush Hours got like some of the best like outtakes during the credits.
Yeah.
Yep.
But just then their relationship though, they bumping heads the whole first movie until the end, and then they on the same page for 2 and 3, and it gets even funnier. I'm gonna let Nick go because all I want to do is quote the first 2 movies.
I'm just mad. Like, I don't. It's like I could have just thought I could have been like Han and Chewie, Timon and Pumbaa. Like, I just didn't do this. So, and I just got like all comedy. Like, I'm just like, who are just comedy duo icons? So number 2, even though they only really did 1 good movie, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Dumb and Dumber, part 1.
Yes,
and
that's
part 1.
That's only part 1.
is genius, and it's you. And then you watch part 2, or don't. Like, you watch part 2, and I don't like hate it. Like, it's not like the worst thing in the world to me. It's just so like just not great. But it's like the rare shitty sequel that kind of makes its part 1 better. Like, a lot of times, like, a bad sequel come out and be like, it ruined the whole thing, ruined the first one.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate what came before.
Star Wars fans love to act like the sequels ruin the originals, and they don't.
They don't.
But it's like, number 2 was just, I'll just say, it was like lazy. Like, it took the lazy jokes and just went with the jokes. The first one, they worked so well together that, like, it could have been so stupid, and it came off as more smart in a movie about like, it was like, this is some of the smartest comedy writing ever, and they're really not doing anything. Like, you know,
that's
like it's like they're just like, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world, and they just react off each other with like complete confidence. Like, there isn't, like, you can tell there wasn't like an ego clash or anything with those 2 guys. Like, but like, we're gonna sing this song, and then they both start singing the song like word for word for word.
So good,
like flawlessly. Like, it's flawless.
No, that's one of the great comedies. And excuse me if I'm stepping on toes by mentioning this. Randy, I think off air we mentioned belated movies and how much they don't do well. So Dumb and Dumber 2 is obviously one of those movies, but oh yeah. But we mentioned another belated movie that's a huge hit critically and financially in Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, they were
how
on the list, and I took them.
But I just wanted to bring that up and just how hard that is to do. And, you know, we mentioned along with Dumb and Dumber 2, Zoolander 2. Just Like, man.
I was talking to Randy about that the other day. I was like probably the most excited person for Zoolander 2. Like, if there was one person who was like really looking forward to that, it was me. Like, even to the point that it came out the same day as Deadpool. And I think I saw it first. I think I can't remember, but I was just as excited for both movies. Like, I was like, yes, this is it. I've waited so long, like 15 years.
Yeah, so enough about that crap.
But, and even to an extent, like, Dumb and Dumber 2 is shitty. Like, it is bad. I don't even know if it's as bad as Zoolander 2, though, to be honest. But, like, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels make it more bearable, in my opinion. Like, it could have been, like, god-awful. Yeah. I think had it just been, like, the next Harold and Kumar or something like that, I'd been like, oh, this is just awful. But them, like, they get at least a few laughs just on their chemistry alone.
Yeah. And it's, and the controversy, actually, I would say little known controversy about Dumb and Dumber 2. Yeah. Not familiar with it?
I might be.
I remember there being controversy.
Well, the way the movie's budget was, it has to do with the funds for the movie's budget was obtained illegally. Y'all, that controversy.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Murray was cooking meth.
Yeah.
Spoiler. But yeah, don't get into that crap, but...
That's what I was thinking. After all that movie went through, like, to get out, like, at one point Jim Carrey quit and, like, all that. And then they put it out and it was just that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was the movie they were fighting over?
Right.
And, like, all that trauma. It was just, like, meh at best. And, like, awful at worst.
And it's crazy. It's so much trivia about Dumb and Dumber, the great one, that Jeff Daniels was only paid like $50,000, something ridiculous compared to Jim Carrey's $7 million.
Yeah, they gave him like a lowball offer so he wouldn't roll or something,
but
he
really wanted to do it.
Yeah, and they wanted Chris Elliott was like the first choice for the Farley brothers.
Yeah,
he probably would have been funny, but it's like Jeff Daniels, like, he doesn't do that many comedies, really. I mean, he's got some.
Yeah, up to that point, like none really, hard, like.
Really. Yeah, like he did like, Terms of Endearment and like Gettysburg and shit like that. Like it was like,
even in that same year, he had Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like.
Yeah, that's messed up.
It worked beautifully, and it's been one of my favorite comedies ever. Except for number one, I only pick comedian like funny people.
Oh man, so
you guys are last pick, Eric?
Oh yeah, and this one is interesting. I wanted to before I give, this is my number one pick, and I'm gonna have what do you call it? I'm brain farting. Well, not a pick, but notable mentions, so honorable mentions. I'm sorry. So I was gonna pick Riggs and Murtaugh, but I think we have enough. I think somebody else might have picked that, one of y'all, and so I'm gonna pick another team, another movie specifically. It's a trilogy of movies, but I'm picking one movie in that trilogy specifically, and I'm naming the actors because this is a hell of a, and it's the best movie in that trilogy. So Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren, Chuck Norris, Jason Statham, Jet Li, and I'm talking about Terry Crews, and I'm talking about The Expendables 2.
Steven Seagal.
What's that?
Steven Seagal.
The hell with him.
Okay.
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. Yeah. the true expendable. Liam. Oh man, and that movie is.
You did say Luke.
I'm an idiot.
Bruce Willis, but
yeah.
but that list of actors and and they share the screen time, and they go back and forth with the quips, like yippee-ki-yay, and like, I'll be back. You've been back enough. Like, man. I mean, come on, that was just a great, and the villain, one of the henchmen in Scott Adkins. If y'all not familiar with Scott Adkins, Google him and watch those movies. And the main villain in Jean-Claude Van Damme, which I think is one of his best roles. That dude is eating every scene that he's in. But yeah, the ultimate team up is definitely, yeah, they really dropped the ball with the third one. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
I remember hating the third one. I just remember being 13.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
But I'm hating it. Maybe I need to rewatch them.
It was
I've been
just
holding out for a fourth one.
Yeah, and it's a reason why the fourth one is taking a long time to come to light.
So I didn't rewatch any of them.
But yeah, the Expendables 2, that's my number one team up movie. Just those great group of actors, and they all get their moment is awesome. And to see Chuck Norris, who doesn't do anything, be in an action movie and get an awesome moment is great. I think he was like 88 years old when this movie came out in 2012.
Hey, but they played off them Chuck Norris jokes and all of that. That was funny.
Yeah, and then they put the actual Chuck Norris joke in there. So, but yeah, that's my list, and that's my number one. And one of the more, even though it was a decent hit, but I still think it's rather underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's one complaint about that movie, and you know why it happens, because of ego. I'm surprised. I would have liked to have the final fight between Van Damme and Stallone be a little more even-handed. Van Damme got his little spin kick in there, but Stallone is Stallone. He got an ego. So, yeah. So that's it for me.
All right, my number one is another team again. Oh, you just gonna drop the headphones and bow out? Like we ain't been rocking with this for 3 straight hours. My number one is the Sandler group. David Spade, Kevin James, Chris Rock, Steve Buscemi. Grown Ups is iconic.
You could throw Norm Macdonald in there too.
Yeah. My real number one is Lethal Weapon. I had you going.
I was staring at you like, you did not just pick Grown Ups as your number one team up.
My favorite team up was Chris Farley and David Spade. Mel Gibson
crossed my mind the other day after I watched Tommy Boy. I was like, I love them together. But I was like, they really only did the 2 movies.
Yeah.
Only one of them was good. But
yeah, man, Lethal Weapon, my favorite action movie ever. Again, opposite sides of how they get things done. Riggs with the hand to hand. From scene 1, Danny Glover's trying to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like they become brothers, man. They bond over killing bad guys. And yeah, it's one of my favorite because my mind really wasn't in any order. Now I regret not putting Will Smith and Martin Lawrence on it. I love all 4 Lethal Weapon movies. Like, people hate 3, people hate 4, but I still get a kick out of watching them. Say what?
Who hates 3?
I've seen people like bash it as far as like how good the first 2 are.
Yeah, I don't think it's any weak. I don't think any bad Lethal Weapon movie. Something that is
3 is great.
Like, they need to chill with all these rumors for a 5th one. But
I just see it.
Let me say this right quick. All right, Nick, we're going to wrap it up as best we can. Nick, you had your number one?
Well, I really gave it a lot of thought. You had these teams like the Ninja Turtles.
Sure you did.
The Ninjas, the Rebel Alliance, SEAL Team 6. Like, these teams that... But my number one was Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Wayne's World. The best comedy of all time, in my opinion. My favorite comedy movie ever. And it's the best thing of all time. Just those two characters that, like, they're just creations of pure originality. Like, there's no, like, it's like, oh, we know those guys. Like, they're just Wayne and Garth are just, like, two creations that they came up with. And you wouldn't think that it would make a great movie, and it's, like, the best movie ever. Like, the most quotable movie, to me, maybe of all time. Maybe. I quote it more than most movies. But I don't know. Just from a young age, we have a King's Dominion. It is an amusement park here that used to be owned by Paramount, and they had a ton of Wayne's World stuff. They had all kinds of stuff. They had Indiana Jones stuff and all kinds of stuff. There's a whole Nickelodeon section. And to me, there's this little corner that was just Wayne's World. Like, they had the donut shop, and they used to have the car sitting outside of the donut shop, and that was my favorite part of the. Like,
that's
I would
awesome.
Run past the Nickelodeon section to get to the Wayne's World section. It's just like the funniest movie ever to me. And it's weird that I always heard there was like drama behind the scenes of that movie. And it makes me sad. But
with the director and Mike Myers.
Yeah.
I always heard that director didn't get along with David Spade either. I think she directed.
I need y'all both out of my head.
Huh? Yeah. Get out of my head. Get out of my brain.
Yeah, Penelope Spears, I think is her name. Something like that.
Something like that.
But
that's my number one.
Nick, I got one interesting for you. You say you mentioned that Paramount Park or something?
Yeah.
I got one awesome for you. So the movie takes place in Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah, it does.
That's a suburb of Chicago. And I grew up in Chicago, and these certain locations I passed every single day. There's a montage beginning. There's this store with a big Indian doing that. Mm-hmm. That's pharmacy on 63rd and Pulaski in Chicago. I used to pass that every day in elementary school, going to school. And there's another place they pass by. There's like a bunch of cars on a pole or whatever. That's in North Riverside. It's in a mall. That's North Riverside, Illinois, like a little town outside Chicago. And they just took that down after like 40 years.
Why?
So it's not even there anymore. And it's just so many. Now, the donut shop is not actually in Chicago. That was, I think, California.
Damn. I used to go there every day. They like recreated that shop for this place. With the little hockey guy on top. And, like, I used to go there every time. They'd be like, you sure you don't want anything else? Like, you don't want pizza or, like, actual food? And I'd be like, no. I want San Nikita's Donuts.
But, yeah, that's, donuts. No, that's a great movie. Hey, that's a good one. Wayne and Garth and, and Dana Carvey. That, man,
Dana Carvey is a comedic genius.
And, unfortunately, outside of Garth, he couldn't translate to the screen very well. No. He just had an anniversary. I think it was the 25th anniversary of a movie called Clean Slate.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was a funny movie, but nobody saw it. It was him, Robert Loggia, and a couple other stars in it. And, he just didn't take off. Masters of Disguise was just...
Masters of Disguise was...
We are not going to be smirched. Masters of Disguise.
Yeah. The movie came out when I was like 12 or so. Like, I was like the audience for that movie. Like, I was like who they were. And I remember like watching it thinking, this is so bad. Like,
at 12 years old. And that's.
And I was like excited because I was like, Dana Carvey, I know who that is. That's Garth. I'm so excited for this.
But he, like you said, he is a comedic genius.
So funny.
You want to see him funny out on screen outside
Halloween
of Garth?
2.
What's that?
Halloween 2.
Oh, his little note-taking cameo. But a couple of years later, he would have a supporting role in a little-known, not little-known, but a Richard Pryor movie called Moving, where he played a character that had multiple personality. It's one of his most funniest roles in anything.
I've never seen that. I think I know what movie you're talking about.
Okay, but Little Nicky.
What's that?
I said, but Little Nicky.
Little Nicky. Yeah, he was a ref, right? Yeah, but that's the thing. He seems to be in supporting roles and little spurts. People know what to do with him.
Yeah.
But outside of being Garth, but that was a fleshed out, well character. But yeah, the comedic genius indeed. Watched any of his stand-ups because he, Dana Carvey doesn't get the credit.
Like as a stand-up, as an impressionist.
Yeah,
it's so good. He does impressions simply. He doesn't like try to lock himself super hard into like what am I going to do here? It's like
he gives you the essence of what he's doing an impression of.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I just went off into that tangent. But Dana Carvey is a treasure, and he doesn't get the appreciation.
Hysterical human being. Also, the Avengers are cool. Really good team, and they probably should have been on my list.
Well, I regret not putting Will Smith and Martin Lawrence on my list. Danny Glover had a cameo in Maverick with Mel Gibson. And I think I had something else to say, and I forgot. I mean, we'll spitball ideas for the next show. Trilogies came up. We could do a top 5 list of anything. Hopefully in 2 weeks we can say we're all going back to the theater with not holding my breath.
Yeah, so a bunch of interesting top 5 lists.
Yeah, for sure. If y'all want to let us know what your top 5 on-screen teams are, 2 characters, more than 2 characters, it really doesn't matter. Drop a voice message, drop a comment on the YouTube, let us know. And if I remember, I'll read them off. When I come back, it's gonna be some sports related because this Reg League podcast, we ain't never really had nothing organized around here, man. All right, man, we back in it. We talking sports now. I got old man Lawrence to get in this, and I was spitting ideas like top 5 boxing matches over the past whatever amount of time, top 5 fighters, whatever you wanted to do. And you just wanted to talk about sports. So ain't really no sports going on in the world. The NBA is desperately trying to figure out how to get something on the air. They talking about like maybe doing like a horse tournament, or I just saw something, I don't even know if it was a verified page or a reliable source talking about like getting a cruise ship and trying to do the playoffs on that. It make no sense. But talk about sports. Talk about the NFL and how it seemed like they completely ignoring all of this when they really not.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing the virtual draft or whatever, which kind of complicates things because they really haven't been able to do no workouts or get these athletes checked out by doctors and shit. And honestly, I don't know how it's going to work. I think it shows the arrogance the NFL has, you know what I mean? They're almost like, screw everything. We're going to give people what they want, and what they want is football because it's America. Yeah, man, Americans be going crazy for that damn football.
Yeah. I think XFL ratings were pretty solid.
I saw somebody on my timeline retweeted that Trump saying that he was going to have a conference call with all the major sports commissioners from the different leagues or whatever. And you know me, I like to read the comments on Twitter, bro. And I scrolled through some of the comments on Twitter, and you wouldn't believe some of the stuff I was reading. These people out here are clueless, man. They don't give a shit about nothing. They just want their football.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you guys sound retarded as shit. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, man. I miss sports. Like, I miss sports, man. I was thinking about the other day, like, basketball teams that were good. And, like, it was a struggle. I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn, like, where were the Pacers at? Were we 5th, 6th seed? Like, I was like, damn, who's the bottom? I couldn't remember. I was like, the Lakers were first, right? All this stuff is like, it's only been a few weeks, but we went from getting super hyped for the playoffs, March Madness, to nothing in a matter of like 2 days. And that was insane. So I get it. People are losing their shit. And especially gamblers. Man, you wouldn't believe some of the crazy shit I've seen that people are gambling on. They're doing like Madden games, betting on Madden games, simulations. Like you said, the NBA is talking about trying to broadcast the horse game. I'm like, what the? I mean, I know we're all hungry for some sports and some entertainment, but damn.
Man, what time is it? Domantas Sabonis is going to be on ESPN2 playing 2K in like an hour.
Man, we are thirsty for some entertainment, man.
Yeah, like
bad.
That's what
the struggle is real.
That's what we were saying in the movie segment, man. Like, they scheduled like SpongeBob and they scheduled Mulan for the end of July, Wonder Woman in August. Like, it's like false optimism to even think like college football or NFL might go on, and it's like the least important shit in the world, but it's entertainment.
Yeah, and I almost feel like I hate to be negative. But I think this thing is going to go on a little bit longer than people expect, man.
Yeah.
Just being real.
I heard worst case scenario, like 12 to 18 months, like Jason was saying.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being real, I don't think it's just going to end anytime soon. And if I'm a movie studio, man, like I realize you want to get your money back.
Yeah.
But you damn near just got to release that shit. You got to release it to streaming devices. I mean, if you charge $20, because don't charge like a normal movie ticket price, $12.
Yeah.
Hit us for $25 right off the bat. You know what I mean? But the thing is, though, like if we pay $25, like you gotta let us own it. You have to let us own it. You really do.
Yeah.
We're not gonna pay $25 to rent it, and then you're gonna release it 6 months later on digital and Blu-ray. Nah, screw that. I mean, so these companies they're probably gonna lose some money, but you're talking like billion-dollar companies, man. They'll be fine.
Yep.
And the shit's already paid for. So would you rather make a little bit of money or no money at all? I don't get it. I mean, I guess you could hold out and play the waiting game, but that time the market's going to be flooded, I would imagine. So I don't know, man. It's just hard to imagine when things get back to normal. Because we were talking about it at work, man. I think for every person, like think about a basketball game or a football game. You have one person who's like, oh, man, I can't wait. No matter what happens, I'm going to be there opening day. Like, I miss football. But you're going to have somebody right next to him that's like, I don't think I'm going to the stadium.
Yeah,
like
as far as movies,
I think you're going to see all these events like 50% full. That's just if I just had to guess.
Yeah,
I don't think people flock back out there. Like, don't get me wrong. I think television numbers will be off the charts. But as far as attendance goes, I think it'll be a while before people feel confident enough to go back out in large numbers like that. Even if the government says it's okay, like I just don't see it.
I think me and you are the yin and the yang with movies. Even when there's no pandemic, like opening weekend, I'm there. And you get that shit when it come out to rent.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of movies in theaters. If I do, it's got to be like a big blockbuster type thing or something that I've been super anticipating for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm not really missing the movie theater that much. Don't get me wrong. Like it's cool to pop into a random movie every now and then. Like if you're chilling on the weekend, you ain't got absolutely nothing to do. Like, man, let's go catch a movie. You know what I mean? Like hit a friend up or hit your lady up or something. Like, hey, let's go catch a movie, grab some dinner or something. I do miss that aspect of it, but I'm not a big movie theater guy. I mean, you all know that I love movies and stuff. You know, people who watch these. Yeah. I stay up to date for the most part. But yeah, like sports, man, the golf they're trying to get golf back to where social distancing in golf is like a real thing. Like, oh, it'll be fine if we don't have a crowd. People can go out there and golf. Like, yeah, I guess you're right, but
that's what I was thinking.
I don't know if you want to open that can of worms, though, because what you start letting people golf and doing all this other shit, then, like, what's next? You know the old saying, if you give a mouse a cookie. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to be trying to find these loopholes and shit so they can get their stuff broadcast. Like, the UFC is still planning on doing their fight card. Like, what?
Yeah, that's dumb.
Are you serious? I don't know. And you got the WrestleMania just went down, I guess. I don't know.
It's going down. Like, they spread that shit over the weekend. But I was running the trash out just in my head. It was kind of like, why cancel tennis? Why cancel golf? The crowd can't cheer anyway. But yeah,
I guess you got a point.
Wrestling with no crowd is weird.
But they just don't want people together, man. If you're gonna broadcast that shit, I mean, you got broadcast teams that are out there. They got to work, they got to set shit up.
Yeah. Including the athletes, everybody behind the scenes. There's still too many people to have in one place.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically you could probably be safe about it, but at this point in the game, man, it's still kind of early. All this shit, like I just don't think the risk is worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not. With that being said, like I'm not like some super paranoid guy that's like afraid to leave the house. But when you're talking like the public, like the actual public in mass numbers, mass figures like that, you got to be cautious and do the responsible thing.
No shit.
So I find it hard to believe that any sports event will take off. Man, it sucks too because there's some good ass boxing fights coming up. Some real good fights. I was actually supposed to be in DC this month to check out Mo Hooker versus Prograis. That was gonna be a bomb ass fight. It was actually a really good card, and I'm super bummed that it got canceled. I don't know. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if these fights are getting canceled or they're just getting postponed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know for the most part, some of them are getting postponed. Like the ones that were coming up and like scheduled for like May and June, they've been pushed back to like August. They're throwing out these dates, but the ones that were supposed to like happen in the end of March and the beginning of April and all them, I don't think they've really given them new dates yet. Like Shakur Stevenson was supposed to be fighting at the end of March, I believe. You had a couple heavyweight fights that were coming up in May and June. So there's a lot of fights, and it just sucks, man.
Yeah.
It sucks so bad because there were some really good fights coming up. They already said that Canelo May 2nd against Billy Joe Saunders is not going down. And plus, that dude got suspended. I don't know if I'm a boxing guy, so I don't know if any of our listeners are boxing guys, but Billy Joe Saunders actually got suspended for making a video. It was like a joke, a kind of a bad joke, I guess you could say. It was tasteless. He was trying to make light of the whole being quarantined thing and make a joke about being stuck at home with your wife. For those of you who haven't seen it, I think it's been taken down for the most part. I think it's kind of hard to find because I was looking for it to actually send it to somebody, and it took me a while to find it. I'm sure you could find it, it's the internet. But anyway, he's out in his garage. He's got a punching bag or whatever, and he's telling a story about, hey, this is like day 7 of being quarantined. And I just wanted to give you guys a tip. Like if you're at your wit's end with your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, and you guys get in an argument and she rushes you, I'm going to show you how to defend yourself. So he's a professional boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a professional fighter. So the simple fact that he's like teaching you how to throw a punch against a woman, like that right there should like click for the most part. Like he's kind of being, like it's satire more or less. Like who's actually going to? I mean, you're trained. You're basically a killer for the most part. Let's face it. You're trained to do damage with your hands. You really think he's gonna make a video about how to hit a woman? Like, nah. It was. I watched it and immediately. I was laughing. I thought the shit was funny, but that shit like blew up, and it's like he's advocating like domestic violence and domestic abuse. I'm like, he's not really advocating. Like, it was probably a bad joke that should have stayed in the group chat. Like, he probably should have sent it to his friends only. Like haha, sent it to the fellas. But he actually posted on Twitter, and that shit blew up. But he actually got suspended for it. They suspended his boxing license, and he was supposed to fight Canelo May 2nd. And then that on top of the pandemic we got, I don't know if this fight is even going to happen. So now we're looking at Canelo's next fight probably being Triple G, part 3 of the trilogy, which is still an exciting fight or whatever. But I was really looking forward to Canelo whooping up on Billy Joe Saunders. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That shit sucks. And Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 3, I think they were shooting for June, I want to say. And I'm pretty sure they came out and said June's probably not going to happen now because even if you had a fight in June, like you can't really train right now. You know what I mean? So if everything got the green light to go back within the next couple of weeks, like you got to remember, like these dudes haven't even had a full training camp. Like they can't go to the gym. They can't unless you're one of those fighters just making millions, which there's only a handful of them. You ain't got that shit at your house, man. You know what I mean?
When was their last fight? It was like right before everything hit the fan, wasn't it?
I want to say February 22nd, I think.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. So maybe they had about 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks after that all the shit hit the fan. Yeah, there's everything. All the fights have been canceled, bro. And even the NBA, people are talking about they might just jump back into the playoffs, or they might pick up and play a couple games before the playoffs. I'm sitting there thinking like they got to do something. They just can't jump into the playoffs because you have all these athletes that are just. I mean, for the most part, most guys I imagine probably are working out, staying on top of their game, but they're gonna be rusty as shit. Could you imagine if they just went straight to the playoffs, man? That first round would be garbage. Yeah, garbage.
That's what I'm trying to think. Like Victor Oladipo should be like ready to go. Obviously Russ, but as far as his knee and all of that, and then our first game back should be Philly if they like just picked up the regular season. But Ben Simmons was hurt, so he'll be better. Embiid was hobbling. So everybody's gonna come back healthier than when they were. And yeah, I don't know about just jumping right back into the playoffs, because then you like those teams like the Blazers or the Kings or the Spurs that were like fighting for 8th in the West, the Pelicans, like that kind of like robs them. I hate to say it, but it's kind of like we got to put an asterisk on this season, and then just like chill until October.
I can't say. I don't think you put an asterisk next to the season, man, because I think if they pick the games back up and a champion wins, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it because everybody went through the same shit. You know what I mean? So I don't really. It'll be known as the season that was cut short, but I don't think it's like say that if the Lakers won, you know they're going to try and discredit LeBron. The only reason they won is because LeBron got all his rest in the middle. I mean that goes for any team that wins it. Let's say the Bucks win it in the East. If the Bucks win, you know everybody's gonna be talking shit. Like the Laker fans be talking shit. Oh, the only reason the Bucks won is because we had to rest all of our guys. They got rusty, and we had the momentum going into it. So I mean, in terms of fans, yeah, there's gonna be an asterisk by it because that's just how fans are. But me personally, a champion is a champion, man. You got to respect that shit because everybody's going through the same thing. It's not like one team has an advantage over the other team.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a month. I feel like I haven't watched a real NBA game in like 10 years.
I'm telling you, bro. Like I was laying in bed, like trying to think of like where we left off in the NBA, like because I haven't opened the NBA app at all, man. Like at all. I haven't been in tune with nothing. Sports Center. I mean, there's nothing. I'm not on ESPN at all. I don't see the point.
Yeah.
They're showing a lot. They're showing a lot of classic games, which is cool, to an extent. But it's outside like the complete like legendary games. It's hard for me to watch something when I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. Don't get me wrong. I can watch highlights. I watch like a quick recap video, but to sit there and watch an entire game, man, it's tough to do when you know what's going to happen. But saying that, I will admit that I have gone back and watched some classic fights. But I feel like fights are a little bit different than watching an actual sporting event.
Man, ESPN has last year's WrestleMania on right now.
Yeah, I heard Fox was playing. I think it was Fox. They replayed the old Super Bowl and shit.
Yeah.
The Colts Super Bowl. So yeah, it's cool to like look back, but yeah, I feel you, man. I'm itching for some live action sports, man. And unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, best case scenario, I see everything clearing up June. Best case scenario, and then maybe everything like trying to get back to normal in July, and you can't pick up a month of NBA basketball and then 2 months of playoffs, and then have next season will be have an asterisk like starting on Christmas. It'll be like a lockout season, and then Indy will lose the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Like if the next season will probably start around Christmas. But what about this though? Like, what happens if this shit stretches out? Wouldn't it just make more sense instead of canceling this season? Wouldn't it just make more sense to like cancel free agency, act like this shit never happened, and then pick back up All-Star break next year? Like, wouldn't that shit make more sense? I mean, I know you're talking damn near a year of hiatus.
That could be
but
cool.
How you not going to have a championship? It almost makes sense to me to just pick back up where you left off even next year. I wouldn't allow teams to move players. Like, I wouldn't allow none of that shit. I wouldn't. So if you was scheduled to be a free agent or whatever, like that shit automatic, everything just gets pushed back a year. And I know that would probably never happen, and I know it'd probably be damn near impossible to make happen. But
and then if the Lakers lose, LeBron's a year older, and that's the excuse.
Yeah, man, it's going to be so many dynamics of these stories coming out of this shit, man. And not only sports, man, it's crazy how it's affecting the whole world, bro. Like,
I mean, yeah, like you can't please everybody, man. So somebody's gonna cry no matter what happens.
Yep, I agree, man. But man, like, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like, I'm watching like stand-up comedy and shit. Like, that's the only thing that's been on my TV. Stand-up comedy, and I watched a couple classic fights. That's pretty much it, man.
Walking the dog.
Strange time.
Training him for the zombies.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that was 17 minutes more sports discussion than I thought we'd get. So,
it's current events, really, man. It's not really sports talk. It's just talking about what's going on, man. It is what it is.
And that's
crazy.
As many shows as I can smash together, man. That's what it's going to be until everything gets back to normal for real. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk about this. What's up?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like that for the entire world, man. You know, everybody's out there, you know, struggling for content, things to talk about. So, you know, I mean, I hate to sound cliche or whatever, but yeah, everybody's in this together, man. Really
ESPN's playing WWE and axe throwing. I know, motherfuckers need content. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this Joyner Lucas ADHD album when we come back around. Yo, bastard of the east side, king only if he decide. Come with the bars, but only if I think that they the hardest. Spit the motherfucking fire once I hear the word Jakaris. Only dropping dope shit, sick of the COVID and Corona. I want to get back to work, man. Stay the fuck at home, bruh. When I'm locked in, it's a wrap. I don't give a fuck about your focus. I'm Arya Stark at the guard of death, taking out whoever you think the coldest. Tony Montana till you fucking cockroaches. I'm trying to watch basketball, see the ref argue with the coaches, and you know this. I want to go back to the movies. I kind of, but don't really, miss people with their newborn babies just crying all rudely. Man, where the fuck the bars been? I could turn it on and start carving other rappers' ass. I know they farting. I'm just showing off my range. James Harden. They want to see the beard shaved. That's where the superpowers over here stay. I turn up, then they freeze in the headlights like where the deer stay. Look, man, we knocking out this last music segment, and we gonna put a cap on this episode, Rec League Podcast, man. The main thing we talking about is this Joyner Lucas album, but last episode when you didn't show up, you wanted to talk about that Jay Electronica. So talk about that Jay Electronica for a little bit.
Come on, bro. You put me on the spot. All right, now I got to pull up this track list. All right, yeah, Jay Electronica with Jay-Z, let's be real. Damn near a Jay-Z album. Written testimony. 10 tracks. I'm pretty sure Jay was on all of them, if I'm not mistaken. All of them, right?
I think he was on all of them except maybe like 2.
Yeah, I like the album. It's fire. It's a little underwhelming, which is no pun intended because the first track is called Overwhelming Event. But the album was a little underwhelming to me. I think Jay-Z owned this album, to be real, which if you're Jay Electronica, I don't know how you allow that to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I don't know how.
It's like Cold World.
I don't. Honestly, I would love to like be on the wall and talk about because nobody around them. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, what are we doing? Is it your album or is it a Jay-Z album? Or it's the point where Jay-Z's not even listed on the track list on the one that I have. Is he on your shit?
Nah.
Okay, would you want it to be a surprise or is it you can't call this a Jay Electronica album, man. I'm sorry, this is not your debut album, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like. Cold World, The Sideline Story came out in 2011. That's kind of around the time like Rock Nation like really picked up steam, started signing artists. They signed Jay Electronica around the same time. He was talking about his debut album for a good decade. And when that shit comes out, like we was talking about in the FaceTime group chat a couple weeks ago, dude is in his 40s. This is his debut album. Jay-Z is on 80% of your shit. Like I just wasn't impressed at all. Yeah, he had track 1 isn't even a song, right? And then verse 1 on track 2 is Jay-Z. Like, come on, man. Like,
and he killed that shit. Jay-Z is the GOAT, man. I'm trying to tell you. Why would you put the GOAT on your debut album on every track, and he gets the first verse? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't get it. So, hey, I like this album. I like this album a lot. Like, I'm not gonna front on the album. Like, it's a dope ass project. Like, it really is. But man, Jay Electronica, man, you got overshadowed, man. You know what I mean? Like you were in Jay-Z's shadow, like no joke. Jay-Z did his thing on this, and you were little brother on this album.
Yeah, this album should have been called In His Shadow.
That's fucked up, man, for your quote unquote debut album. And you didn't even have the balls to put him on the track list. You know what I mean? Like you could say, oh, I wanted it to be a surprise, like wanted to surprise the fans type stuff. Well, this is a Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, a duet album, whatever you want to call it. This ain't no Jay Electronica, man.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Jay-Z got a verse on the Sideline Story, but he's on the weakest track. He's on Mr. Nice Watch. Jay-Z on the Sideline Story.
Oh yeah. That's the weakest. That's by far the weakest song on there. Yeah, it's just weak. that song is actually trash. Let's be honest. Like I love me some Cole, I love me some Jay-Z, but that's I don't know what the fuck they were thinking there.
I don't know. I don't skip.
I hear that shit now. I just skip it because it's disappointing.
I don't skip no Cole. But
shit, both of them dudes are better than that. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. But yeah, I can't take anything away from this project, man, because it's a dope ass project. Jay Electronica did his thing, man. He's got a crazy flow. He's got that voice. He's got that presence. He's got that swag that got him so famous. You know what I mean? Like that's why we've been waiting on this album for so long, and then we finally get it, and it's dope. But I don't know, it's just kind of underwhelming. My favorite track on there is probably "The Ghost of Soulja Slim," "The Blinding" with Travis Scott. Feature. That song actually slaps, as the younger crowd says. That is a dope ass song. Universal Soldier, like I don't have a track on here that I don't like really. It's a fire ass album. It's kind of on the shorter side. I mean, I guess it's pretty average for albums nowadays, I would say. But yeah, I'd probably give it a solid 4 out of 5, 3.5/4 out of 5. You know, it's in that range right there. It didn't blow me away. But I definitely walked away saying, like, damn, Jay-Z killed this shit. Like, Jay-Z really did his thing on this. And like you said, we were kind of joking in the group chat, like, dude, your debut album comes in your 40s. But you gave all aspiring rappers out there a little bit of hope. You know what I mean? I'm in my 30s. Like, we used to rap when we were in high school and shit. Like, you still doing your thing or whatever. But I'm listening to this dude drops his debut album in his 40s. I'm like, yo, bro, I still got a shot, man.
Yeah. So it signed me. Sign me. I don't drop the bars on every fucking podcast for no reason. Somebody holler at your boy. I'm only 34. We can make it happen.
Electronica gave every aspiring rapper out there who never got their break hope, man. Like, you could still do it in your 40s, man. You could make it big. But yeah, that's hilarious to me, man. That it took so long. This dude got signed in his 30s and dropped his album in his 40s.
Like, Jay Electronica started talking about his debut album when he was the age that I am today.
Yeah, see, bro, hey, we got shot, man. We got a chance.
Man, yeah, we can make it work, man. Holla at me.
We got a shot. So yeah, it's a dope project, man. But it's very weird. I'll say that it's very weird how it all went down.
All right, man. We got this Joyner Lucas, and it was Eminem Revival album, and Joyner had that feature, and it's arguably the best feature on the whole album. I think Royce might have a good verse on there. And ever since then, I've been paying attention to Joyner Lucas, waiting for him. He's been talking about this album for like a year and a half. It ain't no 10 years or nothing, but he's been talking about it for a while too.
Yeah.
It finally came out, like 2 Fridays ago? And I've given it a couple spins, man, and I really like it. The production is dope. His delivery is dope. I mean, like before I hit record, the only thing I was saying was like the evaluation skits. Yeah, they're a little creepy. And then I'm not 1,000% convinced that that's Chris Tucker on track number 5.
Yeah, whoever did that voice acting as the counselor or whatever, that dude is a beast ass actor because his voice makes me uncomfortable as shit. Dude, he played that role perfectly in these damn skits. And I don't know, that's kind of crazy to say that.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Hey, I skipped those skits, bro. I listened to them like twice. Hey, I spun this album like legit. This has been it came out. Like I've been bumping this shit. I told you in the group chat, like when I got through my first full spin, I was like, yeah, this Joyner album, it's decent, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm not mad at it. But I listened to it again and again and again, and shit's fire, man. This is a dope ass album. This album is stupid dope. My first spin, my biggest takeaway from it was I kind of had that Logic feel. You know what I mean? I'm not just saying that because they kind of have a history or whatever. In terms of beating a topic to death. You know what I mean? Like he kept talking about the ADHD. So the first spin that kind of like turned me off a little bit, kind of threw me off. I was like, damn, you keep talking about that shit, man. Like chill out, we get it. But the more and more I spun it, it's doesn't even bother me anymore. I don't even know what the hell I was thinking the first time. Maybe I was listening, I don't know, too much to the little details, and I was missing the other shit about it that's really dope. But yeah, this album is fire, and you can make an argument that it's the best mainstream release of the year so far.
You love stepping on my toes. Opinion. You love stepping on my motherfucking toes. I was gonna say that like before when I was still on Logic, I remember like Joyner was going at Logic like on social media or some shit. So I was kind of like turned off to him a little bit, and then that Eminem came out, and I was like, okay, this dude is nice. And then Logic is on this album. Like, ISIS is a dope track. And then, yeah, like, that's what I was going to say. Like, this might be my favorite album of the year so far. Because I know I said it was second the other day, but then I thought about it. Like, man, I really wasn't even that high on that Royce. So this one, and, like, after a few more spins, I know I'm going to like it more and more.
Hey, well, that Royce is an amazing project as well, man. Let's not front on that. Shit, that album would have came out last year, it probably would have been in my top 5. I know that much. Probably, I'd have to think about that. But yeah, the Logic track, they kind of touch on their beef or whatever. How Royce the 5'9" sat him down and got him in the same room. You know, they kind of squashed it or whatever. Royce the 5'9", I can see some shit like that happening because the way he carries himself.
Yeah.
The way he tries to educate the younger rappers or whatever, you know, kind of show them how to do it smart way.
Yeah, Royce is an old head. I'm sure.
Kind of like a mentor figure, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's real dope. That's why Royce is one of the most respected people in the rap game right now.
Yeah, like I've already said a few times, Joyner worked with Eminem. Logic was on one of the remixes to the Book of Ryan track. So, I mean, yeah, I can see it going down.
I think he was on the remix to the Prime album, too, wasn't he? Wasn't he on the end of, like, Prime 2 in a remix? Or maybe that was just the Royce the 5'9". Maybe I'm tripping. But
it was the Eminem track on Book of Ryan that Logic got on that remix.
Let me pull up this Prime. I could have sworn he was on Prime. Let me pull it up real quick. But anyway, this overall album, man, the lyrics are on point, man.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really blow you away with like wordplay or nothing like that.
But man, his delivery though, he got that unique delivery, especially for today, especially for today's hip hop. He got a great delivery.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying about Jay Electronic, man. He just got that swag about him. You know what I mean? Like it's on Prime 1. Logic is on the end of Mode 2. Talking about that, like that Beast Mode song. He's on the remix for that.
And the day before the album dropped, he dropped a video for Will, and that just makes the whole song that much better. Like, just paying tribute, showing love to Will Smith while he's still here and all of that. Yeah,
and low key, that song, I wasn't too impressed by the video. Like, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, yeah, you know, that's kind of whatever. It's going to be a throwaway track on the album, but nah, I actually like that song, man.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope. I think the video kind of took away from the lyrics and the message that he was trying to send.
Everybody grew up with Will Smith though, so I just showing love to one of your idols is so cool.
Yeah, I swear it's a really dope track. Yeah, this shit's fire, man. I think I Lied. Technically, his intro is what he's calling it. That song is amazing. That's how you start an album right there, bro. That song is badass. And then it goes right into that Logic track right after that. Then you got War. I think you got Skit in there. And I Love, that might be my favorite / second favorite song on the album, man. That shit is hard.
But he got a stretch right there. Like, I Love hits, Devil's Work hits, Lotto hits, and then you got the Kevin Hart skit.
Goldmine hits, bro. He's got some shit on here, man. Like, I think the weakest track on here, and I wouldn't even call it a weak track, is the one with Chris Brown, that Finally.
Yeah, and I was bumming that earlier. I was like, man, Jake said this was weak, man. I like this song.
I didn't say it was weak. I said it's the weakest track. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if you read the text, like right after that, I was like, it's still a fire ass track though, man. It's still a really good track. This album, man, I don't know. This shit is so good. And you got Fabulous on there, which I'm not even gonna. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. When I first spun it, like I thought that was Big Sean.
That's what I was listening to before I hit record because I didn't remember hearing Fab.
Huh?
I didn't remember hearing Fabulous. I had to play it again because I knew the feature was there.
I thought it was Big Sean when I spun it.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, Big Sean kind of did his thing because it kind of sounded like Big Sean too, but they saying it's Fabulous. I don't know.
It's Fab.
That shit sounded like Big Sean. I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, he got Big Sean on here. Okay, then I was like, damn, Big Sean actually kind of killed that shit because I'm not big on Big Sean. Like I like Big Sean.
Yeah.
But he's not really my cup of tea. Like he's dope or whatever, but yeah, I was like, damn, Big Sean actually did this thing on this track. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's Fabulous. Makes sense.
We eventually going to have to do, like, some throwback reviews and show Fab albums some love.
Yeah, I told you, man, I was thinking about doing that, man. Like, I had an idea of doing, a music podcast, going back, listening to old people's discographies and, like, reviewing them one by one.
I give Real Talk a 5 right now.
Swear, bro. That's a dope-ass album.
But
the closing track on here, Broken Stupid, is one of my favorite tracks too. That shit is so hard, man.
Yeah.
Damn, that shit is dope. So this album, that's why I asked you who produced this, because the beats on here,
production is money.
Man, I'm not trying to be a prisoner of the moment, but it's been a while since I've heard a hip hop / rap album, and the production was this fire. Like it's like for real. And it's kind of weird because most of them are, I guess, quote unquote, like they're trying to make like hits, like jams, bangers, or whatever. And I usually don't like shit like that, but I think they pulled it off, man. I think they nailed it.
It fits his style.
Yeah, exactly.
The way Joyner carries himself, like the production just works. I see Boy Wonder, Timbaland made the beat that he's featured on.
Oh yeah, Timbaland. Oh, that's damn.
Boy Wonder did a couple tracks.
That Timbaland track goes, man, for real.
So
he's doing his little beatboxing thing in the background.
Yeah, out of 5,
nice, man.
I'm going 4.5.
Yeah, I'm saying this album is a 4.5 for me right now. Like when I first spun it, I was like, 3.5.
Yeah,
like it's cool, man, it's cool. But now, like right now, like it's a 4.5, and I'm depending on what's coming out. This might be the album of the summer, bro. I know it's just April, but this might be the album of the summer, man. For real, like it hits like that.
If we can get back to regular life, if I can like go back to work on my commute, bump music to work and going home, I'm bumping this until RTJ4 comes out.
Oh, I swear, like this is all I've been listening to driving to and from work. Like I've sprinkled in that Royce a few times because I really like that Royce. I haven't really gone back to that J Electronica since this Joyner has come out, honestly. But yeah, I'm still driving to work every day, so I'm still bumping music. And with this quarantine, like I'm not going anywhere. Like I don't have shit going on, so I'm at the house like doing projects and shit. Like I got my headphones in all the time. Like I'm burning through my headphone batteries, man. And this is probably the album that I've listened to it is the album I've listened to the most since this shit's gone down. Like I'm spinning the hell out of this album for real.
It's
dope, man. It's that good. If you haven't listened to it yet, man, do yourself a favor, listen to it because it's dope.
Oh, no doubt. Have you had a chance to see any of the battles between like Scott Storch and Manny Fresh or like T-Pain and Lil Jon was on last night?
Nah, man. See, I always miss them. I always log on Twitter, but I did see your text, but by that time it was too late.
Yeah.
But now I'm always catching the shit like the next day on Twitter where I'm seeing like what's trending, and I'm like, damn, how did I miss all this shit? So, but you can replay them, right? You can go back and watch them.
Do
they stay up for 24 hours?
Ooh, that mean if that's the case, then Manny Fresh versus Scott Storch is gone. They was playing jams.
I think when you go live, it kind of like turns into your story, right? Like it's posted for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I might go back and catch that Lil Jon shit tonight while I'm laying down or whatever.
Bro, they was hype. Like T-Pain, I didn't know T-Pain produced so many hits, but he was playing hits. But he was like a fan, just like listening to Lil Jon play his catalog. He busted out Snap Your Fingers. He busted out Lovers and Friends. And then he played, I guess Usher new album is coming, and Lil Jon, Ludacris, and then Usher got back together for something on that. I didn't hear the song, but I heard it's dope.
Oh, shit. Hey, yeah, and honestly, talking with people, like people we haven't hung out with in weeks now, like when this shit first started going down, like the one thing I think people that I talked to, at least, we kind of like agreed on, man, we need artists to be dope right now, man. We really need creative people to be creative right now to help us get through this. Like, I know that sounds weird to like rely on that shit. Like, I just bashing sports or whatever. Like how it's just sports, man. Calm down. But entertainment is important and art is important, and we need creators to be dope, and we need them to make some dope stuff because this is, man, we're gonna need it now more than ever, man. So all you artists out there, you creators, man, keep the stuff coming because it's going to get ate up right now. We're going to eat the hell out of it.
Hell yeah. All these stupid TikTok dances and challenges and...
I'm not even mad at it, man.
Yeah.
Normally I'm not a big social media guy. Like I'm team Twitter all day. I prefer Twitter because it's more like news-based. That's what I like about Twitter. But I got to be honest, man, like I'm loving all these funny-ass videos I'm seeing, these quarantine videos, people being silly. I'm loving it, man, because at the end of the day, man, to be real with you, anything to put a smile on your face now, like, man, sign me up. I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. I'm trying. We all got to be positive through this, man. Try to keep our spirits up because the shit does suck. But yeah, man, I'm all for the entertainment and the art. Yeah, man, keep it coming. I'm gonna eat the shit up.
Yeah, so I done lost count of how many episodes I got, man. I think that's a cap on episode number 38, Rec League Podcast, man. Like the old man, Lauren says.
Real quick before we get out of here, though. RTJ dropped 2 tracks. I don't know if we touched on that or not.
Oh, yeah. Both of them bangers. Ooh La La.
Oh yeah, RTJ dropped two singles for their
Yankee
RTJ
and the
4
Brave.
album. Was it Yankee and the Brave?
And then Ooh La La. That's why I want to watch Ozark. Apparently, Ooh La La is on Ozark.
Man, sick. Those songs, just nasty. I cannot wait for RTJ4, man. I cannot wait. I sat there and watched LP live on his Instagram for like a half hour the other day. I think I hit you up and told you to jump on there.
Yeah, I started watching. He couldn't figure out how to balance out the sound.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Him and Killer Mike going at it. But man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for RTJ4, man. Like,
yeah,
I need that shit ASAP.
That's
man.
my most anticipated album of, you know what I'm saying, the 2020s. I don't give a fuck.
And then I hear rumblings of J. Cole, which I think J. Cole's actually confirmed he's coming out, right? Didn't he all but confirm it?
I don't know. Supposedly he's coming out. Supposedly Kendrick's coming out. Everybody's supposedly coming out.
Hey, bro, I'm about to drop an album, man. Fuck it. Why not?
When it comes to hip hop, I don't believe anybody's coming out until I can actually listen to it.
Man, but nowadays though, you don't know shit's coming out. You just wake up one day and Twitter's like, it's trending on Twitter. Like, what the hell? Then you look it up. You're like, damn, he dropped the album. Like,
yeah. I'm telling you, like, I was in the middle of work.
I
think I was in the middle of work all by myself. I was getting ready to turn all the tools in. All of a sudden, Brother Ali dropped the album.
Swear, man. I'm not even mad at it. Especially now, man. Everybody surprised me. Surprised the hell out of me, man, because I want all the surprises I can get right
now. Yeah. Hell yeah. But
and then Childish Gambino came out too, but I gotta be real with you. Shit's weak to me, man. Shit's trash. There's like 2 or 3 songs in there that are good. I don't want to say it's trash. I can't say that. It's just it's not for me, man. How about that? I couldn't get into it. I
ain't spend it for 1 second. Like I love Atlanta.
I spun it once. I had a couple tracks that I liked, but other than that, this is not my thing. Like I'm not mad at people who like it. And there's, like I said, there's a couple tracks on there that I really dig, but it wasn't really my thing.
Like I love watching Atlanta, so like I like Gambino to an extent. I ain't never really took the time to bump his music though.
His previous albums I mess with a lot. I like him a lot, but this one I don't know.
I think that he's reached that level of acclaim and status like Lil Wayne had like 11, 12 years ago. Like ain't nobody gonna pull him aside and tell him like, yo, like this ain't it.
Yeah, but I think I would agree with that, but when I like to take small angles, so I honestly appreciate what he's trying to do. He's doing what he wants to do. You know what I mean? Like, and I can never get mad at an artist or creator for doing what they want to do. But I can. But me as a listener, as a fan, a guy who does guest appearances on a podcast or whatever, I can say it's in my right to say that it's not really up my alley. I don't really fuck with it
for sure. But within the next 14 days, like I said, I'm going to try to create episode 39. So we'll come up with some lists, some open discussions just to throw around to put another episode together, man. So everybody chill until the next episode.